from the agency that they work for, the DEC, it's like you can't really, say things like this because it's like you just kind of get brushed off, kind of like mountain lions.
Yeah, totally. Exactly like mountain
Yeah,
lions.
and that's another thing worth pointing out. And I hesitate to connect Bigfoot to anything paranormal because personally I think it's a natural animal. But
Yeah.
the Adirondacks is home to weirdness in general. So like I'm friends with Paul Bartholomew. He's in the movie. He's a local writer in that part of the country. He just did a whole book about weirdness in the Adirondacks, and I mean this stretches back a couple hundred years. You've got all sorts of like haunted history there. You've got massive UFO sightings that have taken place in that part of the country. In fact, like the overlooked part of the Whitehall case is that the Beast of Whitehall sightings sort of corresponded with a number of UFO sightings that were taking place around that area at the same time. So I've always thought, just in general, that's a fun place to go because there's so much strangeness. There's always the hope you're going to experience something, even if it isn't
Mhm.
Bigfoot. Maybe I'll see a UFO or something.
Totally. The Adirondacks, it's a unique place, and it's a big place, and things are definitely out there, and it's also fun to chat about it and to, think that there might be something out there that we don't know.
Yeah, and I just had a question. In your process of interviewing people, have you had anyone relate orbs, white like balls of light, in your case, associating or also mentioning that in regards to a Sasquatch event, or just talking about orbs of light as well out here, or have you heard that? Like,
I've heard
two and
it.
two together.
I haven't. Yeah, I haven't directly spoken to anyone who's encountered both. In this, well, no, so not in the Adirondacks, but I have actually spoken to people who've seen both, in the same night, if not directly together, but
But
not
you
in
have
the
heard
Adirondacks.
that, like, some people, like, where Sasquatch is
Yes.
sometimes orbs of light follow.
They correlate together,
correlate.
sure.
Yeah, 100%. And there's actually, again, like that's, you guys, I'm sure, are familiar with this too, but like the mystery light thing is a big deal in the Adirondacks. You've got tons of mystery light sightings, in the woods. And personally, like, again, that's one of those things that I believe mystery lights exist, like orbs and stuff like that. I think it's a natural phenomenon. I personally think it has something to do with gas. I don't know what that gas would be, but I know that anytime that I've encountered a sighting or talked to someone who had a sighting of a mystery light, that it corresponded with some sort of opening into the earth. So like a cave or a mine, especially. And I'm assuming there's a lot of that in the Adirondacks.
Well, just as Jonathan arrived at my house today, the first thing he told me was about hearing a story from this past week about two different lights, orbs down in the Panther Gorge region
Nice.
of the park. So yes,
And then that happened last week.
Or it happened last week.
happened
Yeah.
last week.
So
Oh,
that's
wow.
that's the thing. It's funny that was brought up here.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that a little over an hour ago. But now that we're about an hour in, so we're going to start to wrap up this episode. I always like to ask people, Seth, what makes the Adirondacks a unique place in your mind? And I think you'll have a unique perspective on this.
Oh, it's the size and scope. It's the water. These are really lame reasons, but it is true. Like everywhere you look, you go to the top of a mountain and you look around, and there's lakes and rivers in every direction. And I just think that's such a unique thing to see. And I've been all over the United States. I've been to the Rockies. I've been to the Olympic Peninsula. I've been to the Smokies on the East Coast. I've been to the White Mountains, all that kind of stuff. The Adirondacks remain my favorite place. That's where I would like to someday live, honestly.
I love to hear that.
Yeah. And so for me, I don't know. It's a home away from home. And as someone who travels a lot, I feel that way about a number of places, but none quite as much as the Adirondacks. When I get there, I feel at peace. As silly as that might sound, that's just how it is. And it's been that way for me since I first went there back in 2015. And the whole, my whole trip out there and for this movie felt like not a culmination of anything, but maybe a confirmation of the way I feel about that part of the country. I thought maybe this might sound weird, but I thought maybe experiencing more of the park might make me feel less connected to it. Like, it's so big, you kind of lose that intimate relationship with the place. But honestly, the more I saw and the more we got around, the more at home I felt. Mm-hmm. And so I think it's still that way now. And, my son is 4. He still hasn't been to the Adirondacks, and I'm planning, some sort of trip there. I don't know if it'll take place this year. We're actually talking about maybe going there for the Whitehall Festival this September. But yeah, I want to get him there because he loves the outdoors like I do, and I think he would probably fall in love with it like I did.
Oh, I think he would. And one other, this is a very petty thing on my part, but I want to say in your film, and I thank you, and I told Jonathan this as a joke, you do mention in the film that Whitehall is not technically inside the blue line of the Adirondack Park. It is just outside, but those Whitehall people try to creep into the Adirondacks, and I say, oh, just not quite in the park. But yeah, it's petty. It's one of those, like, it's the Bigfoot thing, and it always gets associated with the ADK, and I get it because it's right next door, but it's just not technically in there. But I did laugh out loud when I watched it when you mentioned that it's just not outside. I said, yes, at least we now know. We now know. But yeah, that's very petty of me. But anyways, yeah, I love that answer, and I love how much the Adirondacks has kind of grabbed hold of your heart, the same way it did Jonathan over here, who moved from Ohio to Lake Placid himself.
Mm-hmm. Jonathan, where in Ohio?
Southwest, near Dayton.
Okay, yeah, that's actually Dave, one of our crew. He lives in Dayton, so
nice. The non-Amish part of Ohio.
Yeah.
OH.
IO.
They hate when you say that to these Ohio people, but I love it. I will never not. But cool. Seth, thank you so much for coming on the show. Real quick as we close up, what's your next project?
Oh, man, we have, when it's all said and done, we have 6 movies coming out this year.
Wow.
We'll have had 6 movies come out this year, and then we've got tons of YouTube stuff going on. We've got Alexander's Beyond the Trail series. We've got a series running over there called Paranormal Unexplained, and then we have a series called On the Trail of Hauntings that is only accessible to our channel members. But yeah, we have the next movie coming up after this one is On the Trail of UFOs Dark Sky, which is another one of my favorite states, West Virginia. We spent some time in West Virginia, and then we do The Howl of the Rougarou, which is the werewolf thing we're working on. That'll be out in September. And there's a month off in October, and then in November we do On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Discovery, and that's the Olympic Peninsula trip film. And then we have On the Trail of the Lake Michigan Mothman. That'll be out in December.
Very cool. Very busy. So where can people find you online?
Smalltownmonsters.com will kind of point you in the right direction. But I mean, On the Trail of Bigfoot, the journey is available pretty much everywhere you would like buy or rent a movie right now. So Amazon Prime, iTunes, all that kind of stuff. And it's charting pretty well for a movie with like a $0 marketing budget. So the more people that watch it and tell their friends about it, the more eyes will put on it, I guess.
All right, terrific. And I think with that, we will wrap up this edition of the Summit Sessions here on the 46 of 46 podcast. Go check out Seth's new film from the Adirondacks. It's called On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Journey. You can check it out on Amazon, iTunes, and plenty more. Head over to smalltownmonsters.com for more information and to check out his other films and series. Thanks to Jonathan for coming over and hanging out, and Seth for coming on the show. And thanks to all of you for listening to another episode of the 46 of 46 podcast. If you have a minute, head over to 46of46.com for more information on the show and then services and some merch that I offer. You know, if you want to support the show and you enjoy what I do with the podcast, I'd really appreciate it. And then check back on Fridays for new mountains, new stories, new guests, and new episodes here on the 46 of 46 podcast. Remember to always leave no trace, do the rock walk, and if you carry it in, carry it out. See you on the trails, everybody.
Hey 46 of 46 podcast listeners, this is your favorite photographer, Jonathan Zaharek. In the winter of 2020, I sought out to do this single season Winter 46 in hopes of capturing in detail the journey and all 46 high peaks in their glorious winter state like never seen before. I invite you, your family, and friends to come and see this first-time Winter 46 exhibit at the Lake Placid Center for the Arts. The exhibit will also feature a collection of works representing each of the 46 high peaks by 46 different artists from the region. The show goes from June 10th through July 25th and is open Wednesday through Saturday, 1 to 5 p.m., and it is free to the public. I hope to see you there.